How to find the right keywords for App Store from search intent to metadata. Over 65% of all app installs start with a search in the App Store. Someone opens the store, types a few words, and picks one of the first results they see. That means if your app isn't showing up for the right searches, it's basically invisible. And the way to fix that is keyword research, finding the exact words your users type and placing them into the right spots in your app's metadata, title, subtitle, keywords field. And here's what matters. The clearer and more specific that query, the better you understand what the person actually wants. And the better you understand that, the easier it is to show up exactly when they are ready to install. But here's where most people get it wrong. They pick keywords based on traffic volume alone, and that one mistake is quietly killing the installs. Hi, I am Anna, an ASO specialist. In this video, I will show you the full process, how to find the right keywords, how to filter out the ones that won't convert, and exactly where to place them in your metadata, so the right users can actually find your app and install it. We'll go step by step and I will show you each tool in action, so by the end you'll have a workflow you can use your own app right away. Block 1. Building your keyword list. First, write down all the words and phrases that describe your app, not in marketing terms, but from a functional perspective. What does it do? For whom? In what situations? Let's take a habit tracker app and keywords. Habit tracker, daily checklist, streak counter, routine planner, reminder app. That's your base list. Now, not every word in this list actually works. And to figure out which one are worth targeting for mobile apps, you really need ASO tools. The good news, many of them are completely free. One of them is Keyword Check in ASOMobile, and this is where I always start. It shows you the popularity of any search query and how hard it is to rank for it. Don't worry, finding the right keywords isn't as complicated as it sounds. Let me show you. Two things to look at here: traffic, how popular the query is, and complexity, how hard it is to rank. Habit tracker, almost 1,800 daily searches, complexity 3.9 out of 10. Efficiency, high, looks promising, but scroll down to the top results. You'll see apps with hundreds of thousands of reviews holding the same positions for months. For a newer app, that's a tough fight. Now try something more specific. Habit tracker daily, almost 400 searches. Lower traffic, but complexity drops significantly. And the top results, smaller apps, less established. That's a realistic target. And before you commit to any keyword, open the History tab. It shows which apps have held each position day by day. If the same 3-4 apps haven't moved in months, the niche is locked. But if you see smaller apps rotating out of the top 10, that's your signal. So once you'll check traffic, complexity, and history, it's time to decide which keywords actually make the cut. Here's how I prioritize. First, mid-traffic keywords with high relevance. Best chance to rank fast and convert. Second, high traffic category keywords. Add them, but be patient. They need app authority to move. Third, long tail phrases. Low volume, but when the intent matches perfectly, conversion is surprisingly high. This is why you filter out the unrealistic ones and keep only keywords that can actually bring installs. So, bad choice. Habits, high traffic, but users searching this could want anything. Books, advice, fitness, near zero conversion. Right choice, habit tracker daily, moderate traffic, very specific intent. User is ready to install. Now that you know which words are worth targeting, it's time to expand. Because the words you come up with yourself are never the full picture. For this, I usually open Keyword Suggest. It's also free and it pulls real App Store autocomplete data. The same suggestions users see when they start typing in the search bar. So when you type habit tracker, you get every variation people actually search for, with traffic score and difficulty for each one. You're not guessing, you're looking at real search behavior. Once you see a relevant keyword, hit plus and it goes straight into your keyword list. One more thing I always do at this stage is open Keyword Finder and look at what keywords my app is already ranking for and what else I might be missing. The tool analyzes app's metadata and returns keywords ideas you'll never think of yourself. What I find really useful here is that it helps you discover long-tail and low-competitor queries, phrases that describe your app more precisely and have less competition. That's where realistic ranking opportunities actually are. Also, I always open Suggested AI keyword suggestions based on the app's content. There is always something useful here that you'll never come up with manually. When something looks relevant, I hit plus and it goes straight to my keyword list. Simple. After going through Keyword Suggest, Keyword Check, and Keyword Finder, you'll have a solid list of 50-100 keywords, all based on real data. That's what we work with next. So, bad choice, straight list, habits, goals, productivity, health, self-improvement, too bored, informational intent, near zero conversion. Right choice. After Keyword Suggest plus Keyword Finder, Habit Tracker Daily, Habit Tracker with streaks, Morning Routine App, Routine Builder, Streak Counter, specific, functional, ready to rank. Block 2. Competitor gap analysis with spy keywords. Your own keyword list is only half the picture. The other one, finding gaps, keywords that bring traffic to competitors, but you're not ranking for at all. And the trick here is which competitors you analyze. Don't go straight to the top 3 apps with millions of reviews. You can't win here yet. Look at apps ranked in the top 50-20 with a smaller review base. Those are your realistic targets. Here you can see every keyword they rank for, traffic, their position, difficulty. You're looking for words where they sit in the top 5, but you'll not index at all. Point out 2-3 gap keywords on screen. For example, Routine Planner app, Daily Checklist app. Those are your low-hanging fruit. Real demand, already proven by competitor, and no heaven competition from the giants. So, bad choice. Copying keywords from top apps, Calm, Headspace, apps with millions of installs already own those. You'll never rank. Right choice. Spy keywords on my-tier competitors. Find Routine Planner, Streak Counter, Habit Tracker with reminders. Achievable position in weeks. Block 3. Prioritize and geography check. By now we've got a filtered keyword list ready to use. But here's the next question. Which market are you targeting? Because Habit Tracker in the US is not the same as in the UK or Australia, even it's the same language. Users search differently, use different phrases, and respond to different messaging. So you can't just copy a metadata from one market to another. Each country needs its own keyword research. For this, I usually go to 2 tools, Worldwide Check and GeoChecker. They are both inside ASOMobile, and I find them really convenient for this exact step. Worldwide Check shows the search volume for the keyword across different markets, so you immediately see where demand is strong and where your keyword simply won't work because users search different there. But if I want to go deeper, I go to the GeoChecker. This tool shows exactly how competitors localize their title, subtitle, and description across different markets. And what you'll often notice, even within the same language, the message can be completely different. That's not a coincidence, that's a deliberate strategy. And here's what's often underrated. Everyone focuses on the US and UK, but GeoChecker helps you spot markets where real demand exists and the big players haven't fully localized yet. For a smaller app, that's often an easier entry point. So before you finalize your keyword list for any market, check what's already working for your competitors there. Don't translate or research. Once you know which keywords to use and which markets to target, the next step is actually placing them into your metadata. And this is where most people start copy-pasting into a notes file, losing track of what's already been used and what hasn't. There is a much better way. Block 4. Placing keywords in metadata, ASO Creator. ASO Creator is a built-in text editor inside ASOMobile, and it's specifically designed for this moment. On the left, you'll see your full keyword list, the same one you've been building throughout this whole process. On the right, your metadata fields, title, subtitle, short description, keywords field. Start filling in the fields using keywords from your list. Every time you use a keyword, it gets highlighted, so you always know what's been placed and what's still waiting. No spreadsheets, no manual tracking. At the top, there is a progress bar showing how many keywords you've used, plus the total traffic score of everything you'll add to your metadata. So you can actually see the potential reach grow as you work. For the App Store keywords field, hit Generate and the system fills it for you. No repetition, commas without spaces, keeps words already used in your title or subtitle. One click, done correctly. One rule to remember, don't build words across fields. Every repeated word is a wasted character. If habit and tracker are already in your title, your keyword field gets streaks, routine, daily, reminder, checklist. Every character earns its place. So, bad choice. The title, habit flow, your daily app. Subtitle, track habits and reach goals. Keywords, habits, goals, tracker, daily, productivity, duplicates, work title, wasted characters. Right choice. Title, habit flow, habit tracker daily. Subtitle, smart to do, reminder widget. Keywords, list, task, routine, calendar, manager, to do, checklist. Clean, no duplicates. Every character earns its place. Block 5. Monitoring. Keyword monitor plus keyword dropout. Your metadata is live. Now the most important question. Is it actually working? App Store takes a few days to index changes. After that, I usually start with ASO dashboard for the big picture. Here I can immediately see my overall search visibility, how many keywords are indexed and where they are positioned. I always focus on the green zone, top 5 positions. That's where most installs actually come from. If after metadata update, more keywords are moving into that zone, it's a good sign the changes are working. For a more detailed view, Keyword Monitor shows the current position for each specific keyword, with traffic and difficulty. If you don't see any movement in 2 weeks, go back to your research. And here's a useful trick. Look for keywords sitting in positions 30 to 50. Move this into your title can be the push they need to reach the top. And once you'll had your metadata running for a few weeks, open Keyword Dropout. Pick the dates and it shows exactly what changed, keywords that moved up, dropped, or gained new indexation. That's not failure, that's data. It tells you what to keep, what to tweak, and what to replace in your next update, which for most apps is every 4-6 weeks. So let's wrap it up. Keyword research isn't a one-time task, it's a cycle. Research, place, track, improve, and repeat. Some tools we covered today, like Keyword Suggest and Keyword Check, are completely free. You can start working with them right now. For the full toolkit, there are paid plans. But if you're serious about growing your app's visibility, use promo code ASOGROW from the description and get 30% off any plan. Found this useful? Subscribe to our channel for more ASO tips.